Hi. Anybody who knows me knows pretty much all I talk about is camp. I love camp. It's all I talk about. Everything is great about it, except it's really isolated. We don't have cell phones and we don't get the daily paper. So any news we get is restricted to what our parents send us in like a couple of letters. The zombie apocalypse could happen outside, and we'd have no idea as long as we were safe in our section of the Pocono Mountains. This never really had effect on me until summer of 2014. My hero died, and I had no idea until I came home. August 11th, 2014, Robin Williams hung himself in his home. I was in shock. How could one of the kings of comedy do this to himself? How could my own hero kill himself in his home? Ever since I was a kid, comedy has been a huge part of my life. I can always remember my dad making quotes from Airplane or any other classic comedy movie into any conversation we had. My childhood dog was named Alec, after the legend Alec Baldwin, who's now even more famous for his impressions of Trump. I've watched and rewatched tons of Saturday Night Live skits. I love them all, but of all the skits and all the stand-up and all the late-night television, Robin Williams has always been my favorite. My mom and I call it the Birdcage or Cheer Up movie because every time we watch it, we just laugh because there's nothing funnier to us than Robin Williams playing a gay Jewish drag club owner in Miami. And if it's not the Birdcage, it's Mrs. Doubtfire, because there's nothing better than watching Robin Williams dress up as an old lady just so he could see his kids a little more. And when I was little, there was Aladdin and the Genie to always save the day. And then there was always Dead Poet Society and what I would always give to have John Keating as a teacher. Robin Williams was my captain. He taught me to seize the day. There's a deep irony in all comedians, not just Robin Williams. When even my parents were just little kids, John Belushi, one of the head writers of Saturday Night Live in the mid-'70s, died of drug overdose. 15 years later, Chris Farley, also of Saturday Night Live fame, died of the same thing, drug overdose. And then even now, Daryl Hammond, who's known for his impressions, again on Saturday Night Live, has come out and admitted that he used to cut himself backstage before showing America the best comedy had to offer. What a CNN news story calls the sad clown perplexes audiences completely. How could someone go up and, with a huge smile on their face, make people laugh for hours and feel nothingness inside? It's really mind-boggling. A year ago, I gave a TED Talk about my own experience with mental illness and the stigma that came with it. What really took me aback, though, was after my talk. A lot of people came up to me and said, "Wow, I really knew what you were talking about. I've dealt with this too," and it was inspiring to see someone talk about their own mental illness when I have something like this too. It shocked me. A lot of the people who came up to me were my peers, kids who I went to school with every day, who, to me, they seemed perfect. Like they were smiling every day, like they had a lot of friends, but I realized there's a lot more than the appearances of what I saw. Just like the comedians of my childhood, every one of my peers was dealing with something on the inside that I couldn't see. Whether it was problems with parents, problems with grades, they had their own struggles. Who we are on the inside and who we present to the outside are not the same people. There's often a larger story playing within us. For example, last year in my talk, I mentioned a relative who was the strongest lady in the world to me until she ended up in the hospital. And I realized there was a lot more inside of her that I had never seen. And again, like Robin Williams, who every day was making me smile and laugh, was feeling a struggle that I could never fully understand. What inspired this talk was a song called Robin Williams. It was written after his death by CeeLo Green. And if you haven't heard this song, I implore you to go look it up on YouTube or something right after this. The chorus goes, "We don't know what the next man's going through. I wish I could say it in a plainer way. I said, we don't know, and life reminds me of Robin Williams. We have to laugh the pain away." Robin Williams' utter amazingness doesn't just come because he was funny. It was because he was funny and he had his own struggles, had his own problems on the inside that we can never know about. Now, I'm not going to ask each and every single person in this room to instantly become a stand-up comedian as funny as Robin Williams was, but I can ask you to make someone smile every day. Maybe make somebody laugh. We often get so wrapped up in our own struggles that we forget that everyone else has pains and problems as well. So make someone laugh. Brighten someone's day just a little bit. Maybe you'll be able to lighten the load they're carrying, just like Robin Williams was able to do for me when I was little. Thank you.